Good day, everyone. This is a recorded lecture for the last chapter for the parasitology. So, this is all about Phylum Nematoda, form, function, and classification. So, nematodes are the most abundant multicellular animals on Earth, and 90,000 nematodes were once found in a single rotting apple. Or also, it is estimated that 75% of all nematode species are free living in marine, freshwater, and soil habitats. So here is an example species of a nematode, Caenorhabdites elegans. So most nematodes are microscope inconspicuous and seemingly unimportant to humans and therefore attract the attention only of specialists. So this organism that illustrate na diri. So this is a free-living, transparent nematode about 1 mm in length that lives in temperate soil environment. So C. elegans is a nematode worm and is significantly anatomically simpler than a human. However, it does share many similarities at the molecular level, making it as a good candidate for model organism. So usually if mangita mo og studies related to nematodes, inyong usually mabasahan is kaning gid siya nga species ang ginagamit gid as an model organism. Because it is, of course, contributed fundamentally understanding of eukaryotic life, particularly molecular cell and developmental biology. So, Phylum Nematoda, with its name, nematos means a thread. So, the most abundant type of worms in the world. So 12,000 species named, estimated 500,000 species worldwide yet to be discovered. So they have wide variety of habitats, ocean, freshwater, lakes, and streams, soil from the poles to the equator. So here, a good topsoil may contain billions of nematodes. So nakatry with me og pangita og nematodes by just getting soil outside sa muang tawag ani building and naadyan siya. Dahil amo lang gipa natoy method niya gibuhat para mas dali siya makita. It also parasitize almost every type of plant and animal, ang nematodes. So they range in size from being microscopic to some almost 1 meter in length. So let's move on sa iyang morphology. So this is Figure 22.1, variety of form in nematodes. So in adult, it's elongate, cylindrical, bilateral, symmetrical, and tapered at both ends. So they possess a shurucle, a body cavity derived from the embryonic plastocele. So also the digestive system nila is usually complete. So with the mouth at the extreme anterior end and the anus in near the posterior tip, as you can see here. But so just beneath the here, as you can see, this is a cuticle. So this is figure 22.3 show the diagram of the cuticle of the Ascarosuum. So the cuticle can consist of 3 main layers. As you can see, cortical, median, basal zone, with outer cortex layer enclosed by a thin lipid epicuticle. So the inner cortical zone, here, makita na to, as the other zone is a primarily collagens. Collagen is a protein type also abundant in vertebrate connective tissue. And here next is the basal zone of larger nematodes is composed of 2 or 3 fibrous layers. Here also the epidermis lies just beneath the basement membrane. So kanisha beneath the basement membrane of cuticle and usually central in adult worms. So the important function of epidermis is the secretion of cuticle. So moving on further sa nematode anatomy and locomotion. So here makita nato this is a cross section and makita nato diri ang cuticle, diba? And then muscular esophagus and the thick muscle filaments diameter approximately 20 nm. So this is just illustration ani. So the somatic musculature is technically a part of the body wall, but it's convenient to consider that its function along with that of the shuducle. So nematodes move by using fluid pressure generated And then the fluid-filled chamber that provides structure and locomotion is called hydrostatic skeleton. So hydrostatic skeleton or hydroskeleton is a flexible skeleton supported by fluid pressure. And hydrostatic skeletons are common among simple invertebrate organisms. So the purpose of the hydroskeleton is to work by transferring the force of muscular contractions to a non-compressible fluid, and also the pressure is confined by a thick elastic cuticle made of collagen. So this is the cuticle, kani siya, kaning aning illustration, kaning white, the outside layer. So the cuticle is tough but elastic. It regulates permeability and body growth, and it plays in respiration and excretion, and also helps in locomotion as well. So this is just an illustration, cross-section of male and female ascaris. So moving on to nematode nervous system. So the nematode nervous system is relatively simple. So there are two main concentrations of nerve elements in nematodes, one in the esophageal region and one in the anal area, which is connected by the longitudinal nerve trunks. Nematodes have a variety of sensilla, so kani siya, shown in the figure 22.13. It is a small sense organs. So this is the most prominent of which are cephalic, caudal papillae, and amphids and phasmids. So amphid, as you can see, kani siya, is a pair of rather complex sensilla that open laterally on each side of the head about the same level as cephalic circle of papillae. So the amphids are the primary olfactory, which is also sensation of smell, chemoreceptive and thermoreceptive organs in the nematode. So they can sense smell, regulate cell function, as well as regulate heat, energy, and temperatures. So for the digestive system, the digestive system of nematode is complete but simple. It consists of mouth, pharynx, intestine, non-muscular, which is a non-muscular, rectum, and anus. So here, food ingested by nematode moves into a muscular region of the digestive tract known as the esophagus or the pharynx. On the next slide, it showed how food is ingested. So here, the food of nematodes parasitic in animals includes blood tissue cells and fluids in intestinal contents, bacteria, and some combination of this. So in some free-living and parasitic nematode, esophageal bulbs, as you can see here, esophageal bulbs contain structures for macerating ingested microorganisms. So here makita na to, from the lip, ikaw na food, and then i-push niya to the bulb flap. And here's the food, makita na to in basal bulb. Ano yung gibuhat is to push it padung sa intestinal lumen. So the rapid contraction of the buccal muscle and anterior esophageal muscles opens the mouth and dilates the anterior end of the esophagus, sucking in the food. So the food particles that are small enough to pass through the buccal cavity are drawn into the lumen to the metacarpus by sudden dilation. So that's how they move food along the way from the lip until padong sa pharynx, and then sa intestine, so on and so forth, and padong din sa pa-excrete to the anus. So next is the nematode reproduction. So for nematode reproduction, most nematode are dioecious, which is males and females are separate. Also, as you can see here, mas dako ang female compared sa male. So also they exhibit sexual dimorphism. So makita natin diri that females are larger and the tail of the male is often curled. Kani diri dapit. And some species are hermaphroditic and others are parthenogenetic. So hermaphroditic is the condition of having both male and female reproductive organs, while parthenogenic is a reproductive strategy to involve development of a female gamete without fertilization. So also here, baliktani, fertilization is internal and eggs are stored in the uterus, and also eggs are deposited by the female and it develops, and then juvenile hatches from an egg. So there are 4 juvenile stages, and each juvenile stage is separated by molting or shredding of the cuticle. So moving on, so let's some male reproductive system. There are usually 3 telogenic testes. So here makita na to ang process on how. So spermatogonia divide mitotically into germinal zone, as you can see here, and attached by the cytoplasmic bridges to a supporting structure called rachis. So this is the rachis and the primary spermatocytes. So on the rachis, these cells enter prophase of meiosis 1. So as the primary spermatocytes move into the maturation zone, dinidapit, they detach din siya sa rachis and continue meiosis 1 through meiosis 2 with no intervening cytokinesis. And then the 4 haploid nuclei move to the margin of the cell and along with certain organelles spud off to become spermatids. So they become spermatid and then later on mature sperm. So here, this is the 3 zones of telogenic testis. So first is the germinal zone, incorporating the blind end and in which spermatogenal divisions take place. Next is the maturation zone, and next is the storage zone or the seminal vesicle. So let's move on sa female reproductive system. So diri halap siya. So here the ovary, the oviduct, and then the spermaticaea, sperm, and uterus, vagina, and vulva. So here for ovary, it's for germinal zone, production of the oogonia, and for growth zone, oogonia increase in size. And the oviduct is a narrow passage here found. This is oviduct. And next is spermaticaea here. This is where they store sperm, and the oogonia fertilize when passed through. And here uterus, it deposits eggshell around fertilized egg, and vagina wherein the egg will be exposed, and the vulva which helps in egg laying and copulation. So that's it for the nematodes. So I'll be also showing nematode parasites. So some of these are already mentioned sa katong previous na mga videos given or lectures na mentioned. So this is just a quick overview, and also this is also the apil Japan siya sa atong finals. So we're going to tackle the nematode parasites. So trigger warning lang ni siya, guys. So here, this is a nematode parasites, and then ato lang dayon i-go through ang different types. So first is the Ascaris lumbricoides, so known as the human intestinal worm, most common worms in humans. So adults live in the small intestine, and eggs leave the host body in form of feces. Yan. And the people become infected with ascarid worms or with uncooked vegetables are eaten, or when children put fingers or toys in their mouths without proper hand washing. And also the eggs, aninila, is extremely resistant to harsh conditions. So dili siya dali dayon eliminate. So they can survive in soil for months and sometimes even years. So when eggs are consumed, they hatch in the host intestine and then penetrate the intestinal wall to reach the host bloodstream. And after reaching the bloodstream, the juveniles make their way to the lungs, and then they can develop a serious case of pneumonia and so on and so forth. Also, a large number of these adult worms cause intestinal blockage and severe abdominal pains. So maani. Also that's the life cycle as well. So next, so hookworms. So here, I know everyone is familiar with hookworms. Hookworms, they get their name because of the tungod silang curves of a hook. They bury their hook mouths into the intestines of humans and suck blood. They can cause anemia in people, delay mental and physical growth in children, and cause physical fatigue. So there also the life cycle and transmission is similar with the intestinal roundworms as well. So proper hand washing or lack of physical hygiene Next is trichinitis paralysis. So this is responsible for the potentially fatal disease called trichinosis. So females produce live young. So also the juveniles penetrate skeletal muscles where they bury and develop into cysts in the muscle tissue called nerve cells. So makita na itong diri mo ni siya ang tawagan ni transmission of the trichinitis spiralis. So I'll be adding a video about ani para mas extensive or na specific, I don't know, example ani niya. Next would be pinworms. Pinworms is most common one parasite in the United States. I think there is as well. Adults live in large intestine, and it could lead to scratching, contaminants, hands, and bed sheets. So eggs can be transmitted or swallowed. So this could be tested by the Scotch tape method as well. So next is filarial worms. So this is about 250 million people infected worldwide, mostly in tropical countries. So this can cause obstruction and inflammation to the lymphatic system. So usually the carrier of this kay mosquitoes. An extreme manifestation is caused by elephantiasis. So elephantiasis is a condition caused by swelling of certain parts of the body, such as legs, arms, and genitals. So here, makita na to that is the most common form of the filarial worm in the US. So it can infect cats, birds, sea lions, and occasionally humans. So that's it for the nematodes, and I'll be adding a video along with this to supplement Phylum Nematodes. So that is it, guys. Thank you so much for listening for this recorded lecture, and I hope you learn something from the subject. And also, thank you so much for this semester. I hope you did learn a lot and have fun as well. And that's it. I'll be sending updates na lang for the exams. And if you have questions, to let me know. If you have concerns, to let me know. That's it. Thank you so much. Have a good day.